Get out of here. Oh, man. We're going raw. Yeah, so we got no intro today, but I figured, well, I've got some time. It's actually 8:30. I got to teach class in 30 minutes, but I feel like I could do this in about 10 or 15 because I felt like it was applicable. I'm not even going to splice this. I'm just going to rip this straight forward, unless somebody walks in, and then I'm going to have to cut it short. But here we go. We're looking at the NCAA 25 team assignments, and we're starting with the big three. The DGFL often is compared to the MACtion, and the reason that is because of our love of the game, first and foremost. But something that people always forget about is the fact that we have such a quality of life going for us. You know, we are good friends. We go on good trips. At least some people do, and they don't invite the rest of us. And we play some good games. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but this is some serious, serious stuff. And going forward, whoever wins the MACtion, some are saying they might get some of the pot. Dirty Slam has yet to decide. Dirty Slam and Rod are team leaders. Andrew's commissioner because he is one of the most responsible. Any rate, it's time to get into this. So again, Dirty Slam, we don't really care about the facts. All we care about is our opinion. That's all that matters. We're gracing your ear holes with pure, unadulterated nonsense. With that being said, here we go. Big three. Ohio Bobcats for the Agave. Can't win the big one. Simple as that. Bobcats have been in the championship 5 times. Agave have been there 2 times, I think. 2 or 3. And they've got 1.5 stars. I think that's a miss. I think the Agave are definitely up there for having one of the better teams. But I can't imagine a team more fitting than Ohio. Well, I've never even heard of just the normal Ohio. I know Ohio State. I've even heard of Miami of Ohio. I've never even heard of Ohio Bobcats. What kind of mascot is Bobcats? What kind of mascot is Agave? Can't win the big one. It's as simple as that. I've never seen 2 sentences resonate so well with a matchup here. Ohio Agaves. It just fits the bill. Huge party school, yeah, that makes sense. Dude drinks tequila water. I'd vomit if I ever had some of that. Good lord, man. Have a beer for once. Ferocious Frogs at Central Michigan Chippewas. Fernando Frog, the famous Texas alum, Texas A&M, Texas and alum. I don't know what that school is. One of the highest rated tradition schools. Yeah, to be honest, this feels like one of those assignments that BGG had them all assigned, and this came in. He had a couple of them left, like the Frogs and the Wolves, and a bunch of teams he didn't really know who to assign, and he gave Central Michigan to the Frogs. Um, it just it just feel like who's Central Michigan? What the heck are the Chippewas? The Frogs, they got a fraudulent big one. Central Michigan, I hear, is a pretty fraudulent school in terms of their past. Brand exposure, what do you mean? I've never even heard of Central Michigan. What's this brand exposure? 75 overall. I mean, that's just a swing and a miss. Frogs are like 60 overall. Their team's awful. There's no shot the Frogs are that good. Especially not better than the Agaves. Any rate, Frogs, Chippewas. I mean, I guess it makes sense. A bunch of teams that really just got lucky in the past. Bunch of teams that can't even win their own division going forward, let alone the state. I think I think they're just gonna fall into irrelevance like they are in the DGFL. One of the highest rated traditions. It's in the MAC. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't even know what their traditions are. All this guy says is go chips in the chat. What's the tradition? We got other teams talking about their grilled cheese nights, which sounds epic. Some people talking about rockets pointed at other schools, epic. Chippewas, what do they even do? I don't know. Central Michigan, frogs, makes sense. It's not giving me goosebumps thinking about it, though, for sure. Think of the Swines matched up with the Miami, Ohio Redhawks. Seems accurate. Um, I think we had a friend who went to Miami, Ohio, and it's just what the Swines are. Like their weird name, they come from a weird place. It's like Dusseldorf Swines is what he made back in high school. Miami, Ohio is a weird way of like, what is Miami, Ohio? Is that a city in Ohio? I've certainly never been. Certainly not heard of it, but I mean, I hear good things about this place, but a lot of people want to be it. Wolves want to be it. Heard the Agaves want to be it. Swines. All they care about winning, blue collar attitude. I couldn't even verify that. Do the Ohio win? I mean, it says they won this past year, the current MAC champions. But the thing to note here is that it seems like Miami, Ohio's got good overall going forward. The problem is how are the Swines going to match that? Because in DGFL, Swines are on a cliff here. Got a bunch of like 50-year-olds on their roster. Don't even have a second flex player. They're going to start a tight end there who's like the third option on their team, maybe fourth with a rookie quarterback. Miami, Ohio feels like they've got good future ahead of them, but I don't know how that matches up. I think this is one of the instances where BGG's looking in the past, when in reality we need to also add in the future. What are we thinking here, man? We got to get something going forward. Miami, Ohio. This feels like this could have been a match made purely from gut instinct from BGG, and I love it. Makes sense. I don't care if it doesn't make. I don't care if it's weird on paper, right? Brand exposure or lifestyle. I feel like the Swans do care about that. They're always talking about their brand exposure and the Swines in the big one room. They just win. No, 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 no. Team that doesn't care about brand exposure or lifestyle, that'd be the Peacocks. They just win. Blue collar attitude, manufactured. Manufactured attitude. Worst rated facilities, I feel like the Swines would definitely be upkeeping those. Any rate, BGG, all in all, what I'd rate your rankings here for this specific grouping, I'd give you a B. And I get it. I mean, some of these are probably going to be hard to match. I'd give you a B here. I think the Ohio Bobcats match really well with the Agaves. Uh, Irrelevant team to a relevant team. I think the Frogs matching Central Michigan, it kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't. I think it's one of those things you just had to coin flip, and I think it works. Most people would accept it. Frogs certainly like Central Michigan, which is all that you can ask for is buy-in. Champion Swines feels like Miami, Ohio probably could have went to a different team. You could have given the Swines a higher overall, even though they haven't won a lot. The MAC team, rather. Swines have won a lot. I'm saying a MAC team with a higher overall could have went to the Swines. I'll give you a B, B plus. I think it's solid. Can't go wrong. BGG, give you a lot of crap, but consistent. Never below a B, in my opinion. Any rate, moving on to the next one. Again, I'm saying no cuts here. I'm just going to scroll there. Boom. Man, that was fast. Never seen something quicker. Mafiosos DeVeggie, Toledo Rockets, off the charts, coach stability and prestige. What does that even mean, dude? Like, I'm reading this. One of the winningest programs in the league. Surprisingly, Veggies learned that the Veggies were number three, tied for third all-time wins after they won like 3 or 4 games season one. That's bad for the rest of the league. That just shows that the talent gap from the top to the bottom is immense. Loaded all over the field, but they are boring. They hate to pass the ball. Is this coming from the fact they got Brees and JT and a sweet running room, or is this coming from the fact that I've been making those wishbone jokes? D academic ranking, consider UNC education. That's just foolish. I mean, would you go to App State? Did you even apply to UNC? If you did, you probably didn't get in. You probably couldn't have gotten into any of the triangle schools if you wanted. So I mean, where's this roast coming from? What'd you do? Smoke weed and go skiing for your education? A joke. A joke. BGG. I'll take Toledo Rockets though. I this school is awesome. Never seen a school more meant to be than the Toledo Rockets. A plus assignment. Really love it. Bowling Green. Also, I would have been okay with Bowling Green. I like the rivalry between Toledo and Bowling Green. Unfortunately, you gave Bowling Green to the biggest bum in the league, the Weenie Wolves. I mean, this guy just all he's done is complain, says he's better than us. He quits matches. I mean, what, like, chalk it up to what? We chalk it up to this guy is a firecracker that you never know what you're going to get. Is he going to buy in? Is he going to vanish? Weenie Wolves, man, you got to find your identity. You got to find your place in the league. And I think it's a good place to start with this Bowling Green team. You got the Green Stadium, which is pretty slick. I mean, Bowling Green is definitely cooler than Eastern Michigan. I think the Wolves here, man, you got a good team. You got a pretty sweet rivalry. I mean, even though you're mid in this game and you'd kind of been flaming us and trashing us in the chat, I mean, we'll get everybody will get past that if you just commit, you know. Any rate, Wolves could have been a better assignment. I think Wolves might have been better with Eastern Michigan, personally. But the Duckies got Eastern Michigan. Who better play on a great field than the Duckies? I think this was a spite pick. I think BGG just hates the Duckies so much. He just gave them the most garbage team in the league, and I'm all for it. BGG, sometimes you gotta let your opinion run rampant, and this was money. I think the amount of the amount of complaining and whining and moaning that the Duckies and the Wolves did. I think BGG went went ham, and I'm all for it. Go ahead and make some people ruffle their feathers. Trash tradition makes sense. Duckies suck. Can't make the championship. They always find into a bowl game. They're always in the playoffs, but they can't make it. I mean, it's just writes itself. BGG, hats off to you. What I'd rank this pairing or this triplet, I'd give it an A. I think this was money. I think Toledo makes sense for the veggies. He loves them. Weenie Wolves and Rubber Duckies. I think it's great that you just screwed them. If you swap the teams, I think they would have accepted it better. I think the Wolves would have hated it still, but they're gonna hate everything if they don't get the best team in the league because they're gonna have to quit every week. They can't win. Can't put up 90 against FCS. He's gonna quit. Who knows? Duckies, I don't even know if they're good at the video game. I haven't played a video game with that guy since like freshman year of high school. I mean, can he even wrap his hands around the controller? They're so small. I don't know. A ranking for this one. Well done, BGG. You're averaging out an A minus right now. I think that's how it works, which is saucy. BGG, money GG. Who's next? Here we go. Chaff and Balls, Cheese Ball, Akron Zips. Can't be Ball State. It has to be Akron. Unfortunately, they just won seven since 2019. Yeah, I think the more I think about this one, this triplet here is hard for me to understand. I don't know much about these teams in general. I think Akron for the balls, I don't really know much about Akron. Cheese balls, we haven't really had much victories from them, so it makes sense. I I definitely would have given them if there was a team with one star. I think there were a couple of teams with just one star maybe. Cheese balls would have righteously deserved that. Rightfully, not righteously. Cheese balls, man. If you can turn the Akron Zips around, you can turn the cheese balls around. Um, doesn't feel good after some of these offseason moves, but hopefully the season treats you better. Hopefully the offseason recruiting for Akron was great. I have no doubt that you're an absolute menace on the sticks for your team. So I wouldn't be surprised if Akron ends up winning the whole thing for the MAC. I think the cheese balls are just that good, from what I'm hearing. I played 2K with him and he was pretty butt cheeks, but apparently he's dog at Madden and football games. So this guy might be balling out. Peacocks, number one reason for the Cox getting Western Michigan is because it's Waldo Stadium. I don't. Oh, where's Waldo? Kalamazoo Peacock thing. Like this is one of those things that BGG had Eastern Michigan and or Central Michigan and Western Michigan and just decided, okay, Peacocks get West, Frogs get Central. Like pretty average when it comes out there, but these guys show up win football games and go back to the dorm, nothing fancy. I mean, it's just an auto-generated AI answer. I think at the end of the day, Western Michigan, Central Michigan, and Eastern Michigan triple was a pretty good selection. I think the Peacocks and Frogs and Duckies are solid because the Peacocks don't talk much. Frogs and Duckies talk a ton. So I think that rivalry is going to be pretty good between the three of them. BGG, well done there. Um, Northern Illinois Huskies, pretty average, pretty trash, makes sense. Bruisers, Illinois Roots. Um, I think whoever got Northern Illinois was going to be happy. I think this team is pretty sick. Most people like this team on paper. They have a cool mascot, cool colors. Um, I think they're the only team in Illinois. I could be wrong, which makes them have a recruiting advantage. They get that golden pipeline there for that state if they chose it. Be stupid not to. So Bruisers getting that makes sense. I think the Bruisers have a pretty niche identity in the league as the master of all branding. So I think it'll be good that they get their own recruiting identity. It makes sense. Bruisers, good pick there. Northern Illinois Huskies. I think that makes sense. I think Griffin's kicking sand because he likes wolves so much and Huskies. Furry, real furry energy coming from that guy. But Bruisers, I think that's going to be good. I think Bruisers could be sneaky successful. I hear they're pretty butt at the game though, always losing to the cheese balls by like 50. So unfortunately, Bruisers, you're gonna have to recruit like an absolute menace in order to have that advantage. Overall, this triplet didn't really know much about them. It's kind of how this division works, though, right? They fly under the radar because the only winner, the Peacocks win every year this division, but they don't talk, right? So it's they fly under the radar. Hard to get a read on them in terms of their DGFL identity, in terms of their impending NCAA identity. But if I had to rank this going forward, honestly, I feel like this is a good ranking. Just one after the other. Bruisers, I think, unfortunately, not looking good for you, buddy. Any rate, last one here is up here. Buffalo Bulls for the Gobblers, Ball State for Bods, and Kent State for the Golden Flashes. Buffalo makes sense for the Gridiron Gobblers for Ryan, particularly just because I think at this point he's officially number 12 in terms of league commitment, and I think Buffalo being so far away and being so average makes sense, right? We're not going to see Buffalo until they come into the season, until they come into our stadium for games, right? They're just out in their own world. Same thing for the Gobblers. You don't even know the guy's there until all of a sudden he starts chatting and you're like, what? Where's he been? What the heck? He's in the league? Makes sense. BGG, solid placement there. Um, Average team, yep, makes sense. Ball State Cardinals for the Bods. Worst rated team. I don't know why you did this. Tradition kind of went out of the window when the hired a guy from India. I feel like being going to India gives more tradition, right? Just shows that Bods can influence all parts of the world. Major solid coaching vibes there. I love that from the Bods. So Ball State Cardinals, I don't know why you gave the Bonds the worst team. I think the worst team should have went to the daggum Frogs or the Balls. Um, there are definitely worse teams out there. The Bonds have historically been great. They had one and a half bad years, and you give them the worst team. Come on, man. I think the Rods got gypped here, but I know Rod's like a challenge, so I think he's gonna love this and embrace this, and Bonds are gonna come out of this strong and rebuild Ball State just like he's been rebuilding his own DGFL team. I think it could end up solid. And Pill was getting Kent State Golden Flashes. Um, Again, what does that even mean? You just gave yourself Kent State because you liked him in the old game? 0-2 in conference championship, D championship contender. What does it even mean, Pillars? You got one of the best teams in the league. You weren't 1-11 in 2023. Like, cut yourself some slack. There's some teams on here that you would match up better with. Kent State should have went to a team that is awful. And BGG, I think there's some bias here. I think you just like Kent State. I think you might like the jerseys. Maybe you got some history there, NCAA 14. But I think there's a couple of teams in this ranking that you mixed and matched. You could have got more accurate. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you stink. You stink at NCAA football. I don't think you're going to be any good. But you got Golden Flashes is a kind of awesome name. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Golden Flash name. That's pretty cool. Kent State. Apparently, they're not in Kentucky, is what we're learning recently. So, with all in all said and done, we got to figure out who's gonna win the league. And here's my rankings of how I think the league's gonna fall. I'm gonna go and find the Northern Illinois Huskies are going to finish at number 12 in the league. I think their team sucks. I think the Bruisers aren't very good. Apparently, again, I don't know. This is all just speculation. I don't use facts when I'm doing these. So I think the Northern Illinois Huskies, led by Bruisers, are going to come in 12th. I think from there, number 11, Eastern Michigan Eagles. I think this team is so bad, and Hunter probably can't reach the triggers on his controller with his fingers. I think they're going to come in number 10. From there, I'm going to say the Buffalo Bulls at 9. Or wait, no. 12, 11, Buffalo Bulls at number 10 for the Gobblers. I think that's a trash team, a dude who's not going to play the game much, but I think he's got it in his blood. He might be good. Who knows? Then I'm going to say the Kent State Golden Flashes at 9. Pillas. I don't think you got a good team. I think you're probably overrated and not very good at the game. So you're number 9, buddy. From there, I'm headed to the big 3 because I think that, oh man, one of these teams isn't going to be good. I'm going to say Agave. I think Agave are number 8. Not very good team. Followed by number 7. I mean, looking at these ratings, I'm going to go Ferocious Frogs at 7. I don't think Ferocious Frogs are going to be that good. Number 6, Bowling Green. Uh-oh. You didn't see it. It's off my screen, but somebody started the meeting. I got to join. Bowling Green at number 7. I think the Weenie Wolves are bums. Can't quit a game. They're gonna rage. They're gonna be throwing picks left and right. Bowling Green at number 7. Number 6 for this first year. Who all's left? Oh, Cheeseballs in Akron, Western Michigan Peacocks. Number 6, I'll say Rods Bods. I think their team is just so awful. Even though he's good, I don't think he's gonna win very many games. I think the Bods finish number 6. This team is just too bad. He'll finish much higher year 2, I bet. But number 6 for Rods Bods. Let's go ahead and say number 5 is gonna be. Let's say number 5 is gonna be the Red Hawks, the Swines. I don't think he plays that much video games anymore. I don't know. I could be wrong there. He could be electric. I got no read on this guy. But Red Hawks, I think they're too high and mighty. I'm not liking them. Five ranked for there. I'm gonna go Peacocks at Western Michigan at number four. I don't even know who's left. Who's even left on my list here? I already said Kent State. Man, this is floundering. This is why you really need to cut your video and analyze it. Anyway, I'll just go from one to two or one to three. I'll say winner of the league is probably gonna be. It's not Toledo. I think Toledo comes in second or third. Just their overall is really good. I think the veggies are pretty good there. I think they'll come in second or third. Um, I'm not sure it's anybody from the sweaty meats. You're not winning. I think it ends up being. I think it ends up being uh, freaking Gleaves. I don't know. We'll say Gleaves might win. Number one reason for getting Western Michigan. I mean, if they're good, they're gonna win. I think this team is good. It's probably gonna be between Gleaves, Peyton, and the Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan, and Toledo Rockets. Those are my top three picks. Sorry for rambling. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We got guys playing with Aiden Cush here, whatever team that is, New Mexico. I think this league we just got to progress it, make sure everybody's involved. I think this is gonna be great for the league. Get some good enjoyment here. We all hopefully like each other, and at the end of the day, all that matters is DGFL Big One, right? Whoever wins the MAC, that's a big award, but that takes skill at being a good player. I think the beauty of the DGFL Big One is you can build a beautiful team and still lose every year, like the Agave and the Duckies. And Pillas even have got a good team. So I think that's just the beauty of the Big One is it doesn't take pure skill, right? You got to have some kind of lady luck on your side. And that is what makes it so beautiful. The most beautiful game, some say, is the DGFL. So going forward, I just like to wish everybody the best of luck, except for the Bowling Green Falcons. Y'all are some serious bums. Hate you. Rockets already pointed, buddy. We got you scheduled on our calendar. Toledo is gonna absolutely wipe the floor with you. Any rate, you know how it is. I ramble at the end of these videos. We got the election coming up. Just remember, as you're voting, how do you want the future of our nation to be? How do you want your kids to grow up? Think about those things as you're voting. Vote for who you want. Vote for who your heart tells you to vote for. But don't move to Canada. Those guys are losers. What's with all that free healthcare? You can't even get free healthcare, but you can't even get treatment for like 10 months. What am I going to do? Die? Sure, it was free, but I'm dead now. I couldn't get in. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I've been to Canada. I don't know anything about their healthcare. But at the end of the day, all that matters is DGFL. All that matters is the MAC. All that matters is college football, NFL. Who cares about real world stuff when we got football? Basketball, too. Screw you, Reed. Basketball's great. Any rate, this is Dirty Slam. Just under 30 minutes. Intro and outro, those will come back in the future. I'm gonna just start ripping quick videos just whenever I feel like it. So hopefully we'll start getting some more in here. Anyway, peace out and stay juicy. What?